Yes! And it's Andy Vyman at the double! Bristol City lead the seven-side derby, and Bristol City have won it! Martin slides away in celebration. Antoine Semenyo, take a bow. Sykes, one-on-one with the goalkeeper. He gets his first Bristol City goal. Oh, goodness me, Andy Vyman.
Well, the international break is over. The next time we are without Bristol City, it will be time for the World Cup. Before then, 11 opportunities for the Robins to cement their chances of challenging for the playoffs this season. 2 disappointing results prior to the break shows no sign of extinguishing the hopes of fans who believe that a side that now boasts multiple players on the national stage have the minerals to go the distance. In their way today, another promotion challenger, QPR, led by one of the country's top young coaches, Michael Beale, a man who has learned his trade from the likes of Jose Mourinho and Jurgen Klopp. Naki Wells arriving there today at Ashton Gate. This one promises goals in abundance this afternoon. Can Bristol City get back to winning ways? Without further ado, before Trevor Chalice joins us a short while away, let's have a look at today's teams. Starting with the away side today, QPR. 2 changes for them. The first one comes at centre-half. Jake Clark-Salter comes in to replace Dunn at the back. The former Chelsea man joined on a permanent deal during the summer. He will partner the very experienced Balogun. In midfield, Dazelle is dropped to the bench, and in comes Erogbinen on loan for the season from Aston Villa. Beyond them, Elias Chair and Chris Willock, a pair with an abundance of assists, sit either side of Tyler Roberts, yet to bag a goal so far this season. He is on loan from Leeds. A familiar face on the bench returning to Ashton Gate. I'm sure he'll get a good reception as well. Albert Adoma returns to face his former club. Over 600 Football League games to his name now. As for Bristol City and Nigel Pearson, are they unchanged again? Just one change. Matty James is out. His fitness came under question this week. He's the only change for the home side today. In comes Joe Williams, who's had to wait for his chance from the start. The back 5 remains, though, of course. Nigel Pearson's preferred back 5, sticking at it again today. Cal Naismith, he's flanked by 2 players who've been in particularly impressive form of late. Robust at the back, Atkinson and Viner. The wing-backs today, as ever, Jada Silva and Mark Sykes. And then we move into midfield. The first of the returning players from international duty, Alex Scott, is supported by Joe Williams. A very exciting partnership in there. Beyond them, Nigel Pearson dispelled any fears about Andy Vyman's fitness after he was withdrawn from Austria's fixture with France. He starts today. Then it's the 2 men in form. Another former side, of course, as well for Naki Wells to punish this afternoon. He's, of course, scored many goals so far this season. He scored that incredible winner as well at QPR last season in West London. He is supported by now Scotland under-21 international Tommy Conway. And a bench with a lot of firepower as well. Kane Wilson back on the bench today. Andy King as well. Antoine Semenyo will be hoping for his chance. He's averaging a goal every 43 minutes as it stands. He lines up alongside George Tanner and Han Noah Masengo. Right, let's hear from the man that picked today's sides. It's Nigel Pearson.
Nige, back home for the first time in a month. How good would it be to start this run of fixtures with a win on home soil?
Yeah, it's something that we need to do. I think the players are very much looking forward to playing. It seems forever since we've been here, to be honest with you, but yeah, good to get back here today, and the result is the most important thing for us today. We've had some decent performances of late without picking up the points that we deserve. It's really about trying to get over the line with 3 points today, just to get ourselves up and running again.
One change, obviously Joe Williams coming in. Had some Matty James. Just talk us through that one.
Yeah, JMO's had a little procedure, so he's going to be missing for a week or so. Joe comes in. He's been a bit, felt a bit impatient. It's difficult for players when they've done well to then lose their place because somebody else goes in and does well. So, you know, for Joe now, he's got to go in there and make sure that he becomes difficult to leave out.
there's been a fair bit of chat externally about the fitness of Andy Vyman, but he starts today, and it's good to have the talisman in from the off.
Yeah, I mean, look, Andy's in his 30s, so he's going to get a few, and the way he plays, he's going to get a few bumps and bruises, but he came back in very good spirits from international duty. He got another performance for the national side for Austria, so and he's back with us and ready to go again.
Over 21,000 expected here today. Yeah, it'd be great to hear that noise as a player.
Yeah, we've got to get them going again. We've got to make sure that our performance excites our fans, and providing we give them the same levels of commitment and drive with those flashes of quality too. I think they are very much behind their team, and I think that's important for us.
A very optimistic Nigel Pearson there with Robins TV. We'll be hoping we can be back among the goals today. I'm delighted to say now joining me here in the Robins TV studio, your first time in our brand new studio as well, is Trevor Chalice. Trevor, thank you for joining us this afternoon.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here in the new studio. It's like Sky Sports News, isn't it?
It is. We're moving up in the world. But anyway, you've been in action with the academy this morning. How was that? Under 18s, I believe? Yeah,
we put in a really good performance, strong performance. Unfortunately, we lost 2-1. It was a game of both boxes, really. We couldn't convert in one, and they scored 2 in the other. It was really unfortunate, but it was a really positive, strong performance from the boys today.
And it's an interesting one for you this afternoon, your former club, QPR. Yep. I'm sure you're keen to see how these sides pit against each other, but they've had a pretty positive start to the season. And City, despite the last 2 results, have been working well, particularly in an attacking sense. I think it's going to be a really good game today. I think it's 2 teams in really good form. City are at home and have been very strong this season at home. QPR, I've been speaking obviously a lot of my friends who are big QPR fans, and they're really excited about the group of players they've got this year. The likes of Willock and Chair playing behind Tyler Roberts or Linda Dykes. I think they're really excited about this season. I think it's got the markings of a really good game today. Well, Michael Beale actually said in his pre-match notes that he's expecting goals. That back 5, obviously 3 clean sheets in a row now at Ashton Gate. They'll be hoping to keep that form going, this afternoon as well. Not so impressive on the road as well, but in an attacking sense, there are a lot of threats for QPR today. There are, and I think they do leave gaps. I think it's going to be important that we play in between the gaps, especially down the sides. That's going to be an area we're going to try and punch the balls into and get on the half turn in the half spaces and play forward. So although they're a good attacking outfit, they're very vulnerable, I think, to any sort of transitions and counters. So it's got the makings of a really good game. It'll probably be 0-0 now, I've said that. Yeah, absolutely. And one change for Bristol City, Joe Williams coming in. He's had to bide his time, of course. He's still returning to full fitness as such, and he's a player that always wants to be playing, of course. But do you think City will be too disruptive with Matty James dropping out of the side? I think Matty's been brilliant, especially for some of the young lads in the team. You hear about his talking, his communication skills with some of the young lads has been brilliant. Listen, Joe Williams, he's a bundle of energy, he tackles, he gets up to the ball well. I think he's a really good replacement actually to come in, and I don't think the team will miss Matty as much with Joe Williams coming in. And it's been a fascinating time for the academy, of course. So many players making their way into the first team. Sam Bell has been firing for the under-21s. Of course, you had the joy of Tommy Conway joining up with the Scottish under-21 side, 290 minutes as well for him. How pleasing has it been for you guys this season as coaching staff just to see the trajectory of those players? I think I mentioned it previously. It's what we work really hard as a coaching staff, and there's been some great additions to the coaching staff as well come in. It's what we work tirelessly to see this. So we want to come to Ashton Gate and we want to see the boys not only perform but really help the team win football games, and that's the situation we're at now. They're helping the team not only perform well but win games now as well. Thank you very much, Trevor. More from Trevor shortly. But now it's time to catch up with Bristol City women, who of course have got off to a flyer so far this season. We caught up with one of their stars, Chloe Bull, who is up for the Cup this weekend.
Chloe, 4 games in, unbeaten, top of the table. How pleased are you with the start?
Yeah, I think overall we are pleased as a team. You know, we played 4 games now, won 3 and drawn 1. So obviously we're pleased. We've had 3 clean sheets as well. So yeah, it's a good start, and we're gelling well. So yeah, hopefully we can continue it now.
Yeah, goals at one end, clean sheets at the other end. In terms of the overall performance, is Lauren and Anita happy with, and Jen, what are you doing?
Yeah, I think so. I hope so. You know, we've had a few new faces come in this season, and yeah, they gelled really well. I think we're still kind of finding our feet a little bit, but yeah, we're playing some exciting football at the minute. So yeah.
You come back, played 20 minutes against Sunderland, another 20 against Southampton. Are you pleased with how you're getting on in terms of coming back from the injury?
Yeah, the physios have been great with me. You know, unfortunately I got a little bit of a knock in pre-season against Leicester, and I was out for a few weeks. But now I'm back to it. I'm fully fit now, and hopefully I'll just progress in the minutes, and yeah, hopefully a few goals soon.
Continental Cup on Sunday. A bit of a break from the league. In the scheme of things, cup games are different. You're playing Palace again in 3 weeks' time. Where does this fit in the overall strategy?
Yeah, I think cup games are exciting. You know, it gives players chances. We can rest players. We can give players opportunities. And we had a good run in the Conti Cup last season, beating Reading, and then getting to the quarters and playing Man City, which is really exciting for us as players and as a coaching staff as well. So, yeah, hopefully we can put on a good show on Sunday.
Talks about opportunities for players. 8 new players in the season. There's a lot of competition there, isn't there?
Yeah, and it's healthy competition. You know, it's great for us as players. You know, every training session we've got to be on it, because we know that there's players up our backs. You know, wanting to get into that starting 11. So yeah, it's really healthy competition.
Off the field as well, everyone seems to have really gelled.
Yeah, we're a great group of girls. We were just so friendly and so welcoming. You know, and it's a great environment to be in. When
you look at kind of the teams around you, is it hard being up there, because you're the hunted, aren't you? Everyone wants to take Bristol City as a scalp.
Yeah, I think so, but you know, we'll have that competition. We enjoy the challenge of being up there, and you know, teams coming here to the HBC and trying to challenge us. So yeah, it's good for us.
Palace, fond memories here. Last February, I think, scored inside the first minute. Memories of that?
Yeah, I think so. I think it was the first 45 seconds or something, wasn't it? Yeah, we know they're going to be a good team. They're going to be organised. I think they're up there as well in the league, so we have to be on it, and hopefully we can get a good result on Sunday. Yeah.
Confirmation there of City against Palace tomorrow up at the HBC. Tickets still available for that one. Right, we will be catching up with the Bristol City legend after the break, and we'll be going back in time as well for a classic between these two sides.
Might not wanna get close. We a little wild war, covered in tattoos. Run it up, taking all the views. Stepping on place, feeling the fear. I know you feeling it in the air. Whole squad wearing all black. Motivation's looking real bad. We back to the bone, raising a fire alone. We ain't never needed nobody. Give me 6 feet, this is my party. Ain't got no feelings, we heartless. Take a peek inside the darkness. Blow up the spot, then we run it. Ready or not, here we coming.
When the red robin comes bobbing along.
The Robins, who this season have gone bobbing along right into the 2nd division of the English Football League.
The Robins.
If you've ever been to Ashton Gate in Bristol, you'll know that is the signature tune of Bristol City, the Robins.
So we've got all this outdoor space here, and it's perfect for companies to come in, whether they're small or large. So we cater for maybe a team of 12 or a team of 800. They can come here, have a really positive experience and be rewarded for all their hard work in the office or whatever industry they're from.
As we've got such a big company, a lot of us don't see each other.
Being able for the first time to get everyone out together in one place doing an activity together was great for team bonding and boosting that morale.
We can hone in on specific skills such as communication, leadership, teamwork, resilience. Here we've got a 400-metre military assault course, which is fantastic for team building. If you want a morale booster, this is the place to come.
Welcome back to Robins TV. Just under 15 minutes to go now until kick-off. The boys warming up. Tommy Conway, Andy Vyman there as well. Will he be back among the goals today? Of course, a few questions over his fitness, returning from international duty. Joe Williams as well. And speaking of strikers, now time to hear from a Bristol City legend. 38 goals in 101 games for the club. Of course, he represented QPR as well. It's Tony Thorpe and Dan White.
Nice one, thank you. Tony, welcome back to Ashton Gate. You must be pleased to be here today as an ambassador for the Former Players Association.
Yeah, absolutely. It's my second visit this year as an ambassador, and obviously I love coming down to Bristol. A bit torn today because obviously it's against QPR, one of my old clubs, but I'm looking forward to the game.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. You must be torn because you had, a successful spell at both of these clubs. What do you think of today? What do you think of today's game?
Well, I mean, I have kind of sat on the fence a little bit. I think that both teams are where they are. They've just lost. Bristol have just come off 2 defeats, and QPR have a kind of very similar kind of start to the season. A couple of points ahead of Bristol. So I think this is set up for a great game today because Bristol can leapfrog QPR, and QPR win and they can go pretty much closer to the top 3 or 4. So I think it's evenly matched, but like I said, I think I'm sitting on the fence a little bit with a draw.
A draw is a safe bet, So tell us a little bit about the Former Players Association and your role as an ambassador. What are you going to be doing today?
Yeah, so I go around with a couple of the guys, the ex-pros here and the ambassadors, and we go to the Heineken Lounge. We go, obviously it's Steve Lansdown's 25th anniversary, is it?
Okay, yeah.
Today, I think he's been here 25 years, so we'll probably pop and see him and go around the boxes, say hello to some old people that obviously would remember me because it's been quite a few years, and just basically socialise really and just get to see people, which is great.
Now, I want to ask you about the current crop of players. As a striker yourself, City haven't been shy in front of goal, that's fair to say. Who's really stood out for you as a striker in front of goal for City this season?
Well, obviously, I've always been a big fan of Wyman anyway. Naki Wells is just thankfully broken back into the team from a bit of a slow start last year. So you have got goals in abundance with those two. So I'd expect them to continue their form throughout the season. I think Nigel would prefer, obviously, the back four to be a bit more sharper and a bit more, defensive-minded in the terms of the way we play. But I think the Bristol City fans love the offensive kind of, style that Bristol are playing this year. There's not been many 0-0s, has there? So I'd just long make continue with Naki and obviously the young lad, is it Tommy on the left-hand side?
Tommy Conway.
Yes, the young lad, it's doing really well as well. So, within the 3 of them, there's goals in abundance.
Now, I can't let you go just yet. So many fans have got so many great memories of you. But for you, what is your favourite game and maybe favourite goal of your time at Bristol City?
Yeah, so I'd like to say my hat-tricks were very important at the time. I think I got 3 here over the 4 years, but I'd have to probably say Bristol Rovers at home. That lovely Christmas evening. Obviously, it was the winner. At the end of the game, we actually snuck it 3-2, but it was 3-1 when I popped that header in. And I'd say that's probably one of my favourite games. And I've spoke to a lot of Bristol City fans, and I think that's their memorable game. Obviously beating the rivals up the road.
I think that makes sense. Well, here's to a memorable game today. Thank you, Tony.
Take care, thank you.
Tony Thorpe there, legend for Bristol City, and a great head of hair as well. Pretty envious of that. Hopefully by his age I've got similar level of hair. Unlikely, but looking ahead to today's game, Trevor, Naki Wells is a player I want to talk about. His form has been superb. He's bided his time to get back into the side. And of course, he picked up that memorable winner last season in London against QPR, and he's been superb.
He has, and he's built a good relationship with Tommy Conway. And that's sort of been forged in some under-21 games last year, and he's been a great mentor for Tommy, and he's sort of taken on not only Tommy, Sam Bell as well. We spoke about Sam earlier in the programme. He's been a great mentor for some of the young centre forwards, and long may that continue with Naki.
Yeah, absolutely. And Bristol City, that game against Norwich particularly, the mistakes at the back, I don't want to name him, but Cal Naismith, he knows he can do better. It is about shoring things up at the back, but he described earlier this week in an interview just the camaraderie and the atmosphere around the squad seems to be really, really strong. And he compared it to his time at Luton last season, who of course made the playoffs.
Well, we see them daily in and around the HPC, and the togetherness and, as you said, the camaraderie is fantastic. You know, they look a real tight bunch of players at the minute. They've all got each other's backs. They're laughing and joking at the right times, but they're serious and they're working hard at the right times, and we see that on the training field with Nigel, Curtis and the team. So, you know, they seem to have a lovely balance of work and play at the minute, which is really good.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, hopefully they can put it all together this afternoon. Time to head back, though, to 2019 for a classic encounter between these two sides. Bristol City left it late, but Fam was the man on the night. More of those scenes today, please. Trevor, just before we get ready for kickoff, last minute score prediction, goal scorers as well. You're expecting goals?
I am. I'm going to go for either a 2-1 or a 3-2. I think it could be quite exciting. And I'm hoping Tommy Conway, obviously, from his connections with the academy, I'm hoping he's the first goal scorer. Would please me.
That would be nice. Bristol City hopefully can get back to winning ways and put an unbeaten run together. Right, it's time for us to say goodbye to those of you that are watching today on YouTube and Facebook. Of course, if you are overseas, you can still buy your match day pass by heading to bcfc.co.uk We feel your support from abroad, so please come and join us for